Hello, friends, and welcome to another edition of Get Woke with Danielle Moodie. Let's begin. All right, friends, let me tell you something. This feeling that I have, y'all, I don't even know what to do with it. It is this tingling sensation. I hear birds chirping, the sun is shining. It is something that we call hope. And for those of you who listen to my other shows, Woke AF Daily, you know that I walk around with but a mustard seed of hope. And dear friends, let me tell you that it has blossomed into a field. Where we find ourselves this week is historic, right? We've been living history for what feels like eons. But for the last 2 weeks of the launch of the Harris presidential campaign, I am going to say something about Democrats that I have never said in my entire life. Flawless. We are in array. I have never in my life dreamt of anything better than what has been happening over the last 2 weeks. The launch of the Harris campaign has been flawless. Okay. From the memes to the dancing to the laughter to the hashtags and mantras, y'all, it's feeling possible. It is feeling possible. And what sealed the deal this week is the announcement of Tim Walz, Governor Tim Walz, Coach Tim Walz, as the vice presidential pick, making this the joyful, happy, exciting, refreshing ticket that we needed. Just listen to this round of applause at them walking out on stage for the first time in Philadelphia together. I was at home screaming, right? Like, look at this audience. Look at the energy. We have not felt this since 2008. Friends, we are talking about, I want us to just think about this for a moment. Trumpism has wrapped itself around America like a suffocating vine on a tree, just squeezing the life out of it. I don't even think that you realize how much despair, anxiety, and hopelessness that we have been living in until now, when we can finally feel and see a contrast in ourselves, but in our body politic. And that rally, their very first rally and engagement was like, oh my God, what a stark contrast to the joyless and hopelessness and carnage in the streets that the Republican Party wants to deliver for America. And what I realize, and let me be the first to say it as like the queen of cynicism, that I didn't think it was possible. I thought that I just needed to beat people into the place of we're fighting fascism and growl and this is what we're doing. But no, people need hope. People need joy. They need memes. They need jokes. They need to feel inspired. And that is exactly what the Harris-Walz ticket is doing right now. And I just want to give folks just, as we're all learning about Coach Walz, just a little bit of background from a perspective that I think is very important that lets me know where people stand and whether or not I want to stand alongside them. Back in the 1990s, which as folks are learning more now about Governor Walz, when he was Coach Walz, football team coach, social studies teacher in a high school, he was approached by a young gay student, first probably openly gay student at the school, and and wanted to start a gay straight alliance. Now, I want, now when you think about gay straight alliances, you're just like, okay, like that seems normal. My kid may have one, or I may have been in one in school. In the 1990s, that was not the vibe. We were coming off of the 1980s AIDS crisis. We were coming off of the Reagan administration that criminalized gay people, that wouldn't even utter the word gay. Millions of people were dying, and we were all led to believe it was their fault because of their quote unquote lifestyle. So in the Midwest, in the 1990s, for this football coach to be approached about a GSA and then deciding that not only would he help this student, but he would be the faculty member, just take a listen to this clip of Governor Tim Walz discussing that moment and what it meant for his students and his team.
I had students come to me who were concerned that there was an uptick in some bullying towards our gay and lesbian students. And this is in the mid-90s. They asked if I would be interested in helping start a gay-straight alliance group. My answer was absolutely. And I recognized my responsibility in that. You have an older, white, straight, married male football coach who's deeply concerned that these students are treated fairly and that there's no bullying. And the idea that my players would be interested in coming to that and learn and to speak, to create a culture in a school that was welcoming, open, and understanding was something Gwen and I always strove for.
This is the type of person we want as our vice president. Compassionate, empathetic, loving, and caring. Think about Tim Walz and him creating a climate of love and community at his high school. Now contrast that to what the Republicans have been doing with ripping down rainbow stickers in safe places in schools, with their Don't Say Gay bills that started in Florida with that devil DeSantis and spread around the country. Think about what it is that Republicans are trying to do and turn our schools into, and what Tim Walz did in Minnesota. All kids deserve safe space. They deserve teachers and administrators that are champions for them, not those that will make them feel small and tell them that the world is narrow and doesn't want them or there's no place for them. So just in that video, right, and in all of the LGBTQ rights groups that are coming out and endorsing and supporting and cheering on this ticket, that lets me know, right, that Harris-Walz, yeah, they're for the people. Contrast that now to what Republicans are trying to do with this image of Tim Walz. Take a look at this picture that Hillary Clinton posted broke down Twitter. You see this right here? You see Republicans trying to somehow insult Tim Walz by putting his face on a tampon box and saying that he's Tampon Tim. Do you know why they're doing that? I mean, one, because they're fucking childish, but it's because Tim Walz passed legislation that would allow for schools to have free menstrual products for menstruating students. You all have heard, I'm certain, of the pink tax, the amount of money that menstruating people have to pay for products, or just women and people have to pay for pink razors and all of these things. And so creating an environment, one, where we can have these conversations about the body and not shame it, but also like promoting public health and wellness and reproductive health and wellness. But Republicans, because they are so out of touch with reality and because they hate women so goddamn much, think that this is an insult. So bravo to Hillary Rodham Clinton for being like, yeah, bravo. You know, if that's what it means to be a radical, to care about students, to feed hungry children, right? To provide free products, then yeah, call me a fucking radical. Pathetic. And I just want to say this. You know, when Tim Walz came out on the stage in Philadelphia, and like just, you know, the energy, we're playing Beyonce, people are cheering and screaming and taking videos. And, you know, shout out to Governor Josh Shapiro for an amazing, powerful introduction, right? But also to Vice President Kamala Harris on her introduction to the world, right, to Tim Walz and why she chose him. And if you get an opportunity, read a piece in the New York Times on the decision where she decided to go with her gut and like wanting to choose a partner that made her feel good and just understood the job and what it means to be a strong number two, right? Take a listen to what Tim Walz says.
Thank you, Madam Vice President, for the trust you put in me, but maybe more so, thank you for bringing back the joy.
Thank you for bringing back joy. We can fight, and we can do so from a place of happiness. We can be happy warriors. We can utilize joy as an act of resistance. And what a stark contrast this ticket is to the humorless, joyless, low energy having Republican Party. They have peaked. That doesn't mean that we do not have a fight on our hands, because we absolutely do. As Kamala Harris continues to say, we are the underdogs, right? So I don't want us to take our foot off the gas, right? I want us, as Tim Walz said, we'll sleep when we're dead. We have less than 90 days to go until this election. We can do this. We can make history again. But it's going to take every single one of us. It's going to take our donations. It's going to take our time. It's going to take us getting people out to vote and registering to vote and volunteering at the polling places. It's going to take us linking arms. But I will end today with this. I have never seen a more American ticket than Harris-Walz. A Black woman of Indian and Black descent, right? A child of immigrants, a white man born in a town of 400 in Nebraska who believes in the American dream and access for all people. This is the kind of partnership that we need. And dare I say, this is what patriotism should look like. We've ceded way too much to the right. And it's time that we reclaim freedom, we reclaim patriotism, and we make this country into the great nation that it can be. That is it for me today, dear friends, on Get Woke with Danielle Moodie. We will be back with another episode for you this week. Power to the people and to all the people power.